Well, how y'all doing there? It's me, Shayne, and I'm here to give you a review for possibly 2025's best movie, Sinners by Ryan Coogler. So, before I begin and go any further, let me take off that hat because it is quite warm in here. And allow me to ask you to please hit that like button. I'm going to need you to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you'll be notified of more videos like this one. And do not forget to visit that Patreon. That Patreon has different tiers on it. And on those different tiers, you can donate. But if you choose to donate something completely separate from that, it is much appreciated. So, following my socials, I did say that before this year ended, I wanted to get two movies that I kind of pinpoint as the big movies of 2025. This one here, Sinners, Ryan Coogler's hat trick for the year, because he did what he have. He had Ironheart, which I think he was just executive producer on that. No, he directed that, I believe. But he had Ironheart, follow up to Wakanda Forever and Black Panther, and you had Eyes of Wakanda. I will be doing that in February, and this here. Original thing that has come virtually out of nowhere. Sinners. Something that Mr. Coogler has been working on for a long time, I hear. And yes, I took the 2 hours at home to watch it. I wish I could have seen this in theaters. Actually, the time that I had to go see this movie in theaters when it re-released was unfortunately taken up because it was a random day. And I really wanted to sit down and see this, but I went ahead and watched it at home like you do. Only took one break. Had to take one break because even at the 45-minute mark, I could tell this was something special. Very special. It is a wonderful mix of understanding the Black experience during the Jim Crow era, how Chinese Americans, or should I say Asian Americans, but they were Chinese, but Asian Americans, even the Irish, how they were discriminated against. And then you get Chippewa Native Americans in here. This is I'm happy that this film lives up to the hype 120,000%. The acting in here is great, just completely fantastic. And you know, when I break down things, I'm treating this as if I just came from the theater to watch it. So no, I didn't take pictures to show you all, not at all. But I am here to talk about it all the same. Let's talk about the music. Music score is fantastic. The young man that plays Samuel, aka Sammy, Miles Catton, was it Cotton? Could be the one. He does a good amount of his own singing in here. Score's great. The songs are great. You feel the blues in here. Even the Irish, I don't want to say river dance or something, but the Irish chant, you get the Chippewa chant. This is good stuff. Great music. The effects, it feels like this is practical effects. It's really good. I won't lie, that beginning part when you have Sam going into the church to talk to his father and the flashes, and I'm like, what the heck? Is he about to flip out? Because it's been months since this movie's come out, so we obviously know the twist. And that's one thing I really like. I like how before the movie officially released, no clue what this shit was about until you get in, and then it's like, oh, it's a vampire movie. It's basically a monster movie. Okay, and it looks really good. We don't get a lot of like black focused supernatural things. I mean, let's face it, for most of our movies that involve other people that's with the supernatural, we all die first or we're just excluded altogether. So this is great, but we're talking about the effects. The effects are great. We see people get gashed. You still see the holes, the blood. Oh, that one of my favorite scenes, which involves music. I'm gonna hold off on talking about that. Let me take this jacket off so I can animate a little bit more. When we get to that scene, oh, that looks amazing. It almost feels like a continuous shot, that scene, but just looks fantastic. Just how the monster people look, the actions. It's like, even though we the viewers know something is wrong, just the eeriness and the tension is so good. The plot, it's two brothers, Smoke and Stack, red Oni, blue Oni. They come back to the Delta South, Clarksville, Mississippi. As a person that has Mississippian roots myself, this is pretty cool. They come back from Chicago. They're going to open up their own juke joint that they bought from this white man. I think his name's Hogswood. Spoiler, he's a bad guy. But they're just trying to get everything set up. And this movie takes place in the course of a day. And the pacing for it is all of that is 5 out of 5. And what is fascinating is, although we do get flashbacks in here, the flashbacks happen at the end, where you have, I believe it's Smoke and Sammy thinking about everything that happened in the course of the day, riding with the twins. And then once the twins get everybody that's going to help them, all the camaraderie of them turning that place, turning that old mill into a juke joint, and just setting up everything, and everyone, is the word commiserating. I think the word I'm looking for is commiserating, and coming together and just changing all that. And I like that. I like that they put that in there, because you would think, they said, well, how come they just didn't show it? I like that, once we set everything up and then boom, we're here, the action's going on. I like seeing all that put together, even though we get to see grabbing our key figures. That's so cool. And I think one of the important things is the acting, because you get a sense that these characters have history with each other, or these characters have history in the world, period. As someone whose grandfather was a sharecropper, doing a bit of research and having some research thrown at me when this movie first came out by likes of like Tony Weaver Jr., I'm like, I'm enjoying this. I wish it didn't take me so long to get to it, but I'm happy that I got to it. I'm gonna talk about the characters a little bit, and then I'm gonna talk about my favorite moments at the end. So this one might go on for about 25-30 minutes, but bear with me. The brothers Smoke and Stack, or Elijah and Elias Moore. Wow. Michael B. Jordan did a great job with this. I do like the smart assness in the beginning. Excuse me. When flat out, he's like, you guys twins? Nah, we cousins. I love that. I love this. Like, dumb. What else are we? Smoke, Blue, seemingly, you get the feeling that there are emotions bubbling underneath for both of them, while Stack is like not the wisecracking, but the fast talking one. And he'll sell you on a dream. Like he sees how good Sammy is, and he goes, whoo, whoo. He even tells him that the guitar they gave him was from, I want to say, was it Charlie Patton, right? Famous blues singer, who also may or may not have had some Chippewa Native American background, right? So mixing in with with some of the themes and some of the backgrounds and ethnicities mixed in here, right? These are two boys who, one, Smoke, seems to be the older twin taking care of the younger twin, such as when Stack finally tells Sammy what happened that night with their dad. Well, it appears their father used to always beat them, sometimes beat their mom. It also appears that their father was a bad person, because when they ran away, much like how Sammy wanted to run away, and they went down to the bayou, and there's plantations run by black people who gives them real money. We're gonna talk about the company script money in a second, but gives them real money, and he knew who their father was, and knew that he was a bad, evil man, and surely the sons, the spawn of that, will bring it. And you really feel like these boys, these men are victims of they're victims of the world around them. You know what I mean? They're trying to do better in this Jim Crow South, and trying to get away and do better, and then people saying, well, you're bad. And then they come back home, and then their father, hitting their mom, and then hits the brother. Brother killed him. Smoke killed him. Got rid of him. And, through dialogue, you get pieces. They were in World War I, fighting in Germany. They were working with Arkapaw. They pitted the Irish and the Italians against one another, took what they could. They got all this Irish beer, they got all this Italian whiskey, they got all this stuff, and they took money. But you also get in little sprinkles when they were talking about this company script, where Smoke is telling Stack, when you were selling ass in, where was they selling ass? I want to say, might have been in Ohio. When you selling ass in Ohio, did you take fake money back then from a trick? He's like, no. He's like, then why are we taking fake money here? So he was a bit of a pimp too. He even dresses. He's the one that wears the ties and the tie pins and the clip. And you have Elijah, who just has the straight rounded collar. I like those rounded collar shirts, but he's the quiet one, the more stoic one. When they get Sammy and they're and they're having a conversation with him, they're talking about Chicago, which didn't have the Jim Crow, but he's like, don't believe everything you hear. Chicago ain't shit but Mississippi with tall buildings and a city plantation. And even though he, threatened Sammy, told him get rid of the guitar, which was just the neck at that point. Get rid of the guitar and just be a good boy, be a preacher. Sammy's a good example of, this may be how you saw, and this may how it worked out for you, but I'm gonna go and do my own thing. But I'm still talking about the Smoke and Stack twins here. They got a reputation, even when they were been gone for 7 years. Got a young girl where Smoke's like, well, I'm Smoke, and she's frightened. He's like, I ain't finna hurt you. Just I'm gonna give you 10 cents to sit in this car, and if someone come messing with it, to look at it too long, you lay on the horn. And he said, well, he also teaches this young black girl how to haggle. She's like, now I say 10 cents. You got to go higher. And I think she went about 30. And he says, well, I'm going to say 13. And she says 20. So, and I'm going to give you, I think he gives her 15 cents, which was pretty big back then. So 15 cents for every minute I'm gone, and, go to get with his Chinese American partner, or maybe they are immigrants. I don't know if Bo and Grace are immigrants, but they do speak their home language. Also interesting to note that there's 2 separate stores there. Anybody pay attention? Because there's one store for the whites, one store for the blacks, right? And the daughter Lisa. You get the feeling that they had a community here. These people knew them, and even though they have a reputation, Smoke shot one guy he knew in the ass and shot the other guy in the leg, paid for them to get fixed up, he still had to keep that reputation. I do like that they threatened the one guy, say, if any of your people come over here, your white crackers come over here, we gonna deal with y'all. And just the devil, literally, even though they're fighting the evil vampire guy, the devil and the evil person is still the grand dragon, even though I think they're called grand wizards of the KKK, who's like, oh no, the clan don't exist. And they both look at him like, whatever, bro. And you find out that it's just, it could be seen as cliche, but I like the serendipityness of Remick, our main villain here, finding those KKK members. And because he's white, and he has the native Chippewa vampire hunters chasing him because he's burning in the sun. Instantly, he's like, "Oh, okay, that's the vampire man." He's able, what did they call him? They call them just nothing but lighter N words, hard R, and it's so easy to just fool you and get in there because you hate everybody. He even looked and saw their hood and just played them up. But Remick, we'll talk about Remick later, but I like how Remick seemed to have a mutual disdain for those types. But yeah, let's still talk about the twins here. I love that in this one day, at separate times with their respective loves, Mary and Annie. We'll talk about Mary and Annie later. Annie, who I don't know if Annie. When I'm doing my research, they tell me that Annie was Smoke's estranged wife. I didn't really get that, but let's go with that. That they had a baby that passed away, which I thought was a son, but I read it was a daughter. Okay, but I like that when he comes back and she's like, "Hey, you take my money, I'm gonna cut you." And he's like, I got real money right here. And she's like, "I want you to say it." And she admits that she does hoodoo, but her bag that she gave him, he still wore it all the 7 years they've been gone. But she wants him to admit, and calls him by his name, Elijah. Say the thing that she wants to hear. He's like, "That I love you, that I miss you every day, that I couldn't stop thinking about you." I like that even though they got to be tough, hard boys in this world where they just want to be free, he opened up to her. And then we get Haley Steinfeld's Mary, who I can't wait to talk about her. Through the conversation, you find out, well, she's married to this white guy. And then you keep thinking to yourself, why is Stack trying to get her out of there? And then it all comes out in the dialogue. That's why I say the pacing and the plot is so damn good. He told her to get married to a white guy. Although her background is that her grandfather, much like Haley Steinfeld, actually in real life, was half black. So, and I love that Sammy could be like, "Is she white? She don't look white to me. She looks white, but..." Exactly. But, Stack Elias was telling her, "Hey, if he ever hurts you, me and my brother go up there, we'll kill him." He's like, "So you'll kill for me, but you won't say the thing I won't say. What? Did I love you? Did I miss you? Yeah, I want the best for you, but what's best for you is me keeping you safe, and you being here is not safe because she was in Arkansas, and you being with me, you never gonna be safe because of what follows him." Which is interesting. I like that. I like that these strong black men can be open. I really, really like that. I was gonna go with Sammy, but hold on, we'll trickle down. Again, they are protective of the family because Stack threatened old Slim when old Slim threatened Sammy, like, "Hey, this is my block, you don't play no music here." And you say, "Well, you threaten him again, I'm gonna shove that canteen with liquor down your throat." And then Smoke at the same time was checking up on him with Sammy's father, the preacher man. Sammy's called Preacher Boy, saying, "He don't hit you none, dude." He's like, No. The others, his younger brothers and sisters, they get whoopings, but mostly Mama do the whoopings. He's like, "All right, good." I like, and just when you hear about their story with their father and how that carries on, it's like, okay, the seeds are there from the beginning. This is definitely a movie where you watch over and over again. I'm definitely gonna watch it again just to see what else I've missed. But this is, I can see why folks went and saw this movie 4 and 5 times. Fantastic. They couldn't kill each other, even though one became the vampire and the other one, wanted to live. And pardon me, Stack tries to make it so that Smoke couldn't kill him. We have opportunity to bite him. He's like hesitating. I said, "It's because he ate the garlic?" No, it's just he could not bite him and he could not kill his brother. So he made a promise. Let Sammy live his life. Leave him alone. He let him alone. Let him alone. Fantastic. And I also love that these strong black men, before they split off for the first time, hug each other and say they love each other. Love you. Love you too. And then they kill a rattlesnake in a very cool ass way. We talk about Hoodoo with Annie. Annie is the GOAT, bro. Is the GOAT because she's the practitioner, so she knows Haints. And when she's the one that she's so smart and she pieces it all together. It's like, wait a minute, you said you shot in her and then she ran out of this MF. She ran out of here fast. And then, we need to get his body outside just in case. We ain't touching my brother. All right, we're going to lock this door. And then through the pickled garlic, dude, she goes, those aren't Hanks, because Hanks switched souls with the man. These are vampires. She's the one that gives them the lore about the steaks, the silver, the garlic, sunlight. Gotta wait until they're trying to wait it out. Ryan Coogler did admit that he was influenced by Just Till Dawn and the faculty for this, and The Thing and No Country for Old Men. It's so funny that this movie further influences me because I'm doing my own type of writing when it comes to supernatural things with black people and other people of color, right? And I was inspired by Dan to Dan and Fooly Cooley for the theme. This, I like this. He supposedly has like 2 or 3 ideas for like spinoffs or sequels for this. I hope he does it. But Annie's the GOAT. She made Smoke, promise you'll kill me because there's somebody waiting for me on the other side. She read the bones. Someone waiting for us on the other side. Kill me so she don't live forever. And that's actually, I feel like, what snapped them out of it, because a little bit of vampire lore here. In Sinner's universe, while vampires still need to be invited to cross a threshold into a home, if you kill the person that turns them, it doesn't turn you back. Although I feel like with how old Ramek is, maybe if you do kill his vampire master or the person that turned him, maybe it does work. I don't know. But in some lores, you're either stuck or you have rituals, or if you don't drink human blood for X amount of times, you can be changed back. And also here, they're a hive mind. So whatever they know as soon as they turn you. And it's interesting because it feels like Ramek's whole thing was like, I just trying to make a whole army so that people can be free and love each other. But you are destroying lives and stuff. Like, these folks are technically dying and then coming back. I think what broke that hive mind hold on Mary and Stack was seeing Annie get killed. Like seeing Elijah honor his promise and fully kill her before she died from bleeding out. Already mentioned a little bit about Mary. Just her and Stack are perfect because of the vulgarity of her speech when talking to him when we first meet her. But when it comes to Sammy, she's like, "You little Sammy, come over here." Her connection with them is that her mother helped deliver them, and when their mother died during the whole childbirth thing, she even nursed them. So they are all family, just like Annie says in the beginning. Just again, Annie's the GOAT, especially with big old cornbread. Cornbread was so dumb he let Mary in. Like, yeah, come on. I love it. Old Slim. I wonder if Old Slim is actually gay. Because one of the things when Sammy's like, my father said me playing the music would invite the devil. I got to talk about the beginning speech too. But I'm going to talk about that when I talk about my favorite scenes. But he's like, well, I met the devil once and he bit me all over, but he ain't bite me on my neck. I'm like, okay. And he also, when we get a flashback of him giving a speech to Sammy after seeing how amazing he plays, and then finally convincing him to play for them at their place. And he was right. Y'all not going to last. This juke joint might not last long, even though he said, "Oh, today you get all the Irish beer you can drink and $40, which is a lot of money back then." I digress. He talks about that, but he also talks about blues is the one thing that came from us, came from our soul. It wasn't forced on us like their religion. Now, again, most of the folks in here have some type of religious beliefs. You got Annie with hoodoo. A lot of the other ones singing, this little light of mine. A lot of praying. So you believe there's some type of Christianity going on here, right? You know, as we know in modern times, a lot of evangelical Christian things look down on, same-sex couples and LGBTQ and all that stuff. Some of his speech implies that he couldn't be himself, and he had been beaten down by the same people that call themselves Christians and try to paint the blues as something evil, just like Sammy's dad. I like when he was telling about how he knew the people on the chain gang, telling them to keep their heads up, and they sang for these white folks. And one of their guys had too much money trying to take a train. The Klan got him, took his money, hung him right there, and you could see him just sad, and he just goes into singing, which the singing, while it was the blues does have get some roots from gospel. So you can even tell that his alcoholism comes from trying to survive in this world that probably hates him for not just for being a black man, but also being a gay black man. But that's just something I gleaned for that. He's also a sacrifice, man. Once you his people, because he said, "Nah, them vampires want to get anybody in here. If the devil want to get you, Sammy, they got to go through me first to get anybody." And he does cut his arm so that the vampires can come and get him. I don't think he got turned. I think he got devoured. Rip to old Slim, Lindo Delroy, good shit. He any role that Mr. Delroy is in, he destroys it. Oh, sorry, Delroy Lindo. Mr. Lindo is in, he destroys it completely. Remick is an interesting villain because he talks about having everybody together, and that did not see it coming. That the first two clans people he grabbed, they were the nephew of the Grand Wizard, man, that they were going to come back and kill them anyway. So this is kind of tragic. I just watched a video today about how there's not enough sad endings. This is like half. This movie could have stopped at certain times, and it could be half a happy ending, half a sad ending. The fact that they got so close to freedom, but they never got to taste it. They never got to fully experience it, and just to know that their house of freedom was supposed to be a slaughterhouse. But he said he was gonna go, we got the numbers now, gonna go and take care of that old biggie. He probably would have turned them, which I think is dumb, but that hive mind was strong. He was such a good vampire. You see it on Cornbread with the teeth coming down, but you see with him much more, like when he's getting messed up by the silver plate stuck in his head, and he just like fuck, taking it out, slashing Sammy's face. He looks like he's been a vampire for so long, even with the gold coins he had. Fantastic. Who killed him? Oh yeah, they killed him. Smoke killed him with the stabby stab. Him denouncing that there's a God above or devil below. He's like, everything here is trash. It's, again, comes from the hardships and the trauma and the trouble he's gone through. But he is such an interesting villain. The fact he's willing to kill folks, but I ain't a bigot. Give it to him. His dancing, the Irish jig dancing, that creepy ass thing where everybody's glowing eyes. Whew. Is there anybody else in here I want to talk about? No, we're going to talk about some of my fave scenes now. I guess I should talk about Bo and Grace. A lot of folks, I saw that a lot of folks were mad at Grace because she said, come on in, because she wanted to kill them, and she was panicking, thinking about her kid. Now, here's where, and I get it. She was being a mother. She was being a parent. She wants to protect her daughter, which I also love storytelling here. When father said, hey, go get your mother, father wants you, instantly takes over the register spot while she goes. I love that storytelling. Like, she does what she's told, even though she is feisty. In my mind, I'm like, girl, one of them is like murdering like people and getting, like, you had at least 50 people or more in this place. And when he's like, when someone's like, it's over, everybody just leave, and they leave, All of them got turned. What the hell? It was only 3 of them, and then you had Cornbread big ass, and then they all got 50 people got caught like that. Also, we do see Ramen kind of he flies a little bit, so yeah, supernatural shit going on. But I digress. You thought that you, with your one stabby stab, when the only person she really cared about stabby stabbing was technically her husband. And what really freaked her out is when Remick started speaking Chinese. She had that little Molotov, and you saw how weak that shit was when she threw it. He just backhand. Hey, but she killed Bo, right? They both stabbed and they both burned to death. So I do need to follow up on Lisa. Maybe we get something that takes place during the 60s, see her growing up, because we do get a 60 years later with old Sammy. And I'll talk about that in a minute, but maybe we can get something in the 50s and 60s, see what's going on with Lisa. Yeah. First favorite scene, when Smoke kills all the KKK guys. I'm a soldier. He had a Tommy gun. He had a military grade. I know it's not a sniper weapon, but he had a military grade weapon just in the bushes. All right, now that I'm out, I buried the Tommy gun so I could walk up and grab it. He shouldn't have died because the bullet went clean through. The scene of him, and it's so cool. Where you got the Grand Wizard jackass sitting there, and he's lighting up the cigarette, and he sees, was it Annie? And she's like, I'll let you hold him, but you gotta put out the cigarette. And this dude interrupts the moment. He's like, I got money. Man, that will never not be a good time to watch Klansmen or Nazis be. Love it. Love it. More scenes like that, please. Second one was the spirits coming out. Now, in the beginning, and I wrote this down to the best of my abilities because I watched this as if I was watching in a movie theater. But people born with the ability to make music so good it can pierce the veil. You think about Robert Johnson, like how Robert Johnson went to the crossroads. He couldn't play a lick of guitar, but he left and then he came back, says he met the devil, and he can play amazingly, kind of like Sammy here. There's a lot of inspiration from African American and West African folklore and folk tales here, but spirits from the past and the future. On the island, which I now realize is Ireland, they call it Philly. Chippewa call the person the firekeeper, and I could not get a hold of the name for West Africa. And this thing I looked up here didn't tell me the name. I sounded out Nuop. I think it's called Nuop. Anybody remember what that name is, please write in the comment section down below. But with that, you can also attract evil. And I like how you see through that window, all drawn, by the way, you see the glowing eyes. And just kind of, until you sit down and watch the movie, you would never know what it's about. Well, now you're going to know, but amazing. And that scene where Sammy is playing and singing, and you get... I wish I was on point with the name for some of these dances because I've seen it, but you get a lot of the West African dances, especially the one with the footwork. You got the ancestors playing the music, but then you got a Jimi Hendrix looking mother over there jamming out with him, and then you get the DJs with the turntables, and then we hear the chanting, and the chanting is what was really good with this, because it's mixing the music that's playing right now that he's singing, then mixing the hip hop. You got the girls, doing the shakes, doing the twerks and the shakes. You have old other blues singers like move up from 50s and 60s, but then you have the Bo and Grace's ancestor, the Chinese woman, doing the dance, and you hear the Irish chanting, you hear the Chinese chanting, you hear the native chanting, you hear the African chanting. It's all mixed together, and when you look at the roof is on fire, and you peel back, and it's just the frames, and it reminds me of that picture from Good Times, where everybody's dancing, or that picture from, I think it's a Marvin Gaye album poster, but if everybody dancing and you're just forgetting everything for a minute and you're just dancing and all the spirits are there, just, yeah, cornbread at the front, but just all from the past, from hell, the near future, because that's 1930s, so the 60s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. You got you had the b-boys dancing too. It was jumping. It was good. That was a powerful scene, but showing, and this is what also called Ramek, because he's all the way in the back and he can see what we see. And he even points out something. He said, "Oh, that's your voice. I just want him, because you can get me in contact with those that I have not seen in a long, long time." I believe that wasn't just his voice he heard, that he could see the whole piercing of the veil. And that might be the reason why Sammy couldn't let the guitar go. Also, but at the same time, Sammy is saying, that might not have worked for you, but I still got to follow my own path. I love that so much. But that scene is amazing. It is amazing. I would have put it first, but anytime I can see the Klan get mowed down, that's going to be right there. That's going to be the number one scene. I like that we get a little bit of progression. Now, the movie could have ended with him just riding away, but I like that. Excuse me. I like that, we get to see he named the bar after Perlene, the wife of some dude who he stole. I also like that Smoke is like super supportive when he hears him getting some, and even Grace is like, okay. Anyway, that little meeting, he's like, once a week I have nightmares about it, but before the sun went down, it was the best day of my life. And Stack says, and he's like, yeah, it was the best day. Last time I saw the sun, last time I saw my brother, and for a little bit I felt free. Now, I'm not gonna lie, first of all, Mary Haley Steinfeld, that 90s wear they had on, she looked good. She looked good in them 90s jeans. Whoever did the outfits, the costume department, fantastic. Stack having rings that say Stack on it while dropping $200. That's, man, that's good. That's good. Gotta see, they're alive. Gotta see something else with them. I don't care if it's in the 60s or 70s. Gotta see something with Lisa. Gotta see something with them. Period. Please. This was really good. 5 out of 5. That's the only thing else I got. Just 5 out of 5. Period. I wish I would have covered this sooner, but this was fantastic. This is a straight 5 out of 5. Must see, must own. I'm definitely getting this from my physical collection immediately. There was something else I wanted to talk about, especially with the whole piercing the veil thing. You introduce some of these elements. You gotta expound on that, Mr. Coogler. Gotta expound on that. This is good stuff here. I want to know who turned Remick. Like, even if you gotta go further back, go further back. Give me a spinoff. I don't care. I gotta see it. This was good stuff. Is there anything else that I want to forget about this? This man killed, ran away. Do like that the bartender's name was Michael A. Newcomer. That's funny. This movie feels like, I hate to say this because it feels like it should have been Michael B. Jordan and Chadwick Boseman. I can still see Michael B. being Stack, but I can see Chadwick Boseman being Smoke. They would have ended up just being, older brother, younger brother, but it definitely gave that feeling to me. Hopefully, when we get spinoff, maybe we will get brother Jonathan Majors in one of these. I'm just saying. Give me that Creed reunion. 5 out of 5. Do you like this movie? How many times have you watched Sinners? Because I know you all have watched it a bunch of times. Let me know. Leave a comment down below. Did I miss anything? What was your favorite part of this movie? Who was your favorite character? I I gotta go with Annie, the goat. I'm going with Mary because she's fine. But Annie the goat, definitely. Her and Smoke. Those my homies right there. Please hit that like button, subscribe. Do not forget to hit that notification bell so you can get notified more reviews like this. Since you stayed very long, I'm doing K-Pod Demon Hunter before 40 years over. So stay tuned for that. Don't forget, visit that Patreon in the description below. Whatever you choose to donate, I'll be graciously appreciative of it. Until next time, guys, please be good, be blessed. Wash those hands, drink some water, be good to yourself, be good to others. Either way it goes, please don't be a jerk, okay? You got too many of those. And don't let people's, another big thing about this movie, don't let other people's impressions of you shape the impression you have of yourself, all right? If you're feeling down, you're feeling out, you're feeling depressed, you're feeling sad, please, I know around this time of year, it gets rough. Reach out to someone. Talk to someone, okay? There are people out there that would rather talk to you today than to miss you and mourn you tomorrow. I promise you, I guarantee that. Let someone help shoulder your load, all right? You want to talk to me? My social medias are also in the description below. Give me a follow, say hello, be mellow, and we will certainly be good to go, all right? Until next time. I got big hopes for the K-Pop Demon Hunter. I have no clue what I'm going to dress in for that. I will probably just wear normal clothes because I cannot dress like that. But I have to bid y'all adieu, and I will see you next time.